My own sister took my son's life-saving surgery fund with her boyfriend. Why should your kid matter more than our dream vacation? They flew first class to Spain, laughing while my son was fighting for his life. My parents supported her. Family shares everything, right? I just said, "You'll regret this sooner than you think," and left. 2 days later, my phone blew up with 38 missed calls. This is my first time posting here, but I really need to vent because I'm losing it over how people I've known forever can act like total strangers when money and priorities come into play. I'm 29, divorced, and a single dad. My son, Nova, is 8. I'm not perfect, but I've always tried to maintain peace in my family, even when I get the short end of the stick. The strange part is that it all started with a notification from my bank app last week. It was just a little alert about a large withdrawal. I almost ignored it, but then I remembered I was supposed to move the surgery funds into a new account that weekend. I checked, and my stomach dropped, not dramatically, just that sinking feeling of, I must be misreading this. The account was nearly empty, just a few bucks left. I refreshed it multiple times, but nothing changed. For context, Nova has had a rare heart condition since birth. I don't talk about it much because it's not his entire life, but he needs a procedure soon. It's not like he would die if it didn't happen tomorrow, but it's serious, and the sooner the better. I've been saving every extra penny for the past year and a half, cutting out unnecessary expenses, skipping outings, and selling old gear. My parents always did the family shares one account for big expenses, mainly to help my sister Lynn when she was in college. When she and her boyfriend Sergio were between places, I went along with it, even though I disliked it. So, there I was staring at my phone, wondering if I had mistakenly tapped something or if the app was acting up. I texted my mom, "Hey, did you move any money out? I can't find the surgery fund." She replied an hour later, being vague. "It's fine. Don't worry. We'll talk soon." That wasn't a normal response for her, so I sensed something was off. I checked our family group chat and saw Lynn had posted a photo at the airport, holding her passport and flashing a peace sign with Sergio behind her in sunglasses. The caption read, "Dreams coming true." People were showering her with hearts and congratulatory comments. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I tried calling my dad, but there was no answer. I texted Lynn, "Did you take anything out of the shared account?" She left me on read, and I got nothing from Sergio either. I started scrolling through their stories, where they were in the lounge, showcasing champagne and tagging the airline, first class. I wasn't against travel, but come on, we weren't exactly wealthy. I knew exactly how much was in that account because I had deposited most of it myself. I was getting angry, and I won't lie, I wasn't thinking clearly. I called my mom again, and she finally picked up, sounding tired, like I was bothering her. I directly asked, "Did Lynn take the surgery money?" She replied, "It's not just your money, Kays. It's family money." I was confused, saying, "What are you talking about? Nova needs that for his surgery in less than a month." She sighed, explaining how Lynn had been through a lot and deserved to enjoy life too. I was silent, shocked that she could say this with a straight face. I told her, "This isn't okay." Then she pulled out the family shares argument, a line I've heard since childhood whenever Lynn needed something, and I was told to just deal with it. I insisted, "This isn't the same. This is for Nova, not me or some vacation." She got defensive, saying, "We'll figure something out. Don't make a scene. Your sister's happiness matters too." I hung up, feeling my hands shake, not from fear, but from anger. They really just did this. I spent the next few hours trying to contact Lynn, but she didn't respond. She posted a selfie from the plane with the caption, "Flying in style," while Sergio grinned in the background. I was furious, not in a cinematic way, but with a slow burn that signaled I was about to lose it. So, I drove over to my parents' house. They were both there, watching TV as if everything was normal. I confronted them. "Did you let Lynn take Nova's surgery fund for her trip?" My dad shrugged, saying, "Lynn's wanted this for years. She deserves it. Nova's strong. We'll get the money back." I laughed. What else could I do? My mom chimed in. "Don't be dramatic. You're acting like we stole from you." I retorted, "This is exactly what it is." She stood up and got in my face, saying, "You've always had a chip on your shoulder, acting like you're the only one with problems." I raised my voice for the first time in years, saying, "If Nova's surgery gets delayed because of this, I'll never forgive you." She rolled her eyes, telling me to grow up. Then Lynn FaceTimed from Spain, waving her drink and acting sweet, saying, Why should your kid matter more than our dream trip? I nearly threw my phone. Sergio was laughing in the background, and my parents did nothing. I told them, "You'll regret this sooner than you think." My mom tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away. My dad stood up as if he would say something but sat back down. Lynn hung up, claiming she was busy. I slammed the door on my way out, and my mom yelled after me, "Don't come back until you've calmed down." I didn't even look back. So yeah, I'm done. I'm not the family ATM anymore. They want to play favorites? Fine, I'm about to show them what happens when you push me too far. I've already begun moving all the things I control out of our shared orbit, but that's just the first step. They made this about money and priorities, so I'm going to make it uncomfortable for them in every way I can. I don't care if they call me dramatic or selfish for once. The next part is probably going to get wild, but after tonight, I'm not holding back. If you've ever had your family decide you don't matter, I get it. This time, I'm fighting back. Update 1. After the showdown at my parents' place, I left, slammed the door, and didn't look back. I didn't even go straight home. I just drove around for a while, trying to process how my family could say Nova's surgery fund didn't matter as much as Lynn's vacation. I know it sounds crazy when written out, but that's how it went down. I kept expecting someone to call me back or rethink things, but nope. Just complete silence from all of them. The group chat stayed dead except for some random meme about dog hair. The next morning, Nova asked for pancakes, and I stood there staring at the pan thinking, what even is my life right now? I got a notification from my phone. A new post from Lynn's Instagram. Her and Sergio in front of some historical building in Madrid, sipping orange juice and looking like they won the lottery. She tagged our mom. I checked the comments. All her friends were like, "So jealous," and "Girl, you earned this," while my parents left heart emojis. I almost laughed at how they weren't even pretending to hide what they did. I showed Nova the picture, and he looked at it and shrugged, saying, "That's your sister, right?" I replied, "Yeah, that's her." He returned to his pancakes, too young to grasp the full situation, but one day he would understand. I thought, okay, if they want to be like this, I'm not just going to sit back and take it. I started listing everything I pay for that connects back to them. The family phone plan in my name, joint streaming accounts, the car insurance my mom forgot to switch over, and even the Wi-Fi at my parents' house under my login. The family Spotify account, too. But honestly, just cutting that stuff off felt petty and didn't come close to what they did. I wanted them to truly feel it. I began with the things that would hit hardest and quickest. I logged into the family bank account, withdrew what little was left, less than $50, and closed it. I set up a new account solely for Nova and me. Then I went into the group chat and posted a message. I'm done paying for everyone else's stuff. If you want something, get your own. I didn't ask or explain. I just stated it outright. My mom replied with a thumbs down, Lynn left me on read, and Dad didn't respond at all. Classic. Then I started texting extended family, people I actually communicated with, like my cousin Esther and my Aunt Melissa. I didn't share the whole story. I just said Nova's surgery fund was gone because Lynn needed a vacation, and my parents were fine with it. I didn't ask for money. I just wanted them to know. Esther responded, "Wait, are you serious?" Then she called me, saying she noticed my mom acting strange lately and asking for help with bills, but didn't know what was happening. I explained the basics, and she replied, "That's messed up. I'll check on you guys soon." Others started to hear, and I could tell from the way my mom's regular family dinners got smaller. No one wanted to get in the middle, but word spreads. Lynn kept posting pictures every day. Her at the beach, eating churros, and with Sergio at some market. I muted her stories, but people sent me screenshots anyway. Every time I saw her face, I felt a mix of anger and disgust. She never even tried to explain, just acted like nothing happened. She didn't text me or say a word. I knew she was always the golden child, but this was new. She really thought she was untouchable. As for Sergio, he's just along for the ride. My parents probably like him because he's loud, funny, and makes them feel cool. Now, I'm watching my parents plan the next family barbecue, realizing they expect me to just show up and act normal. Nope. I told them straight up, I'm not attending anything until they make it right. My mom called me dramatic, saying I was embarrassing her. My dad texted, "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." I replied, "Easy, just pay back what you took." No response. Over the next few days, everything unraveled for them. My dad called, annoyed about the Wi-Fi being down and the phone plan being messed up. I said, "Not my problem. Figure it out. My mom texted me for my Netflix login, and I just sent her a shrug emoji. Lynn called once, but hung up without saying anything, probably hoping I'd cave. Instead, I went over to their house to grab some of my old things. My dad tried blocking the door, saying, "You're not welcome here if you're going to act like this." I pushed past him, grabbed my boxes, and left. My mom followed me out, yelling that I was tearing the family apart. I told her, "You did that yourself." She slapped my arm, just enough to make a point, and then turned around, slamming the door. I always knew Lynn was my parents' favorite, but I never thought they would actually choose her over Nova. I get that she's the dreamer and I'm the responsible one, but this was next level. If you're wondering why she's like this, it's because my parents always bailed her out. Every time she messed up, they covered for her, paid her bills, and told her she deserved better. I was always told to wait, to be patient, to support my sister. So, she grew up thinking she could do whatever, and it would always work out. Now, she's just doing it on a larger scale. I started getting messages from people I hadn't talked to in ages, friends of Lynn, even one of Sergio's cousins, asking what was going on. I told them the truth. I didn't want sympathy, but I wanted people to know. I even posted a story on Instagram, nothing dramatic, just a picture of Nova's hospital paperwork with the caption, "Guess we're on our own now." I didn't tag anyone, but it got the message across. Suddenly, Lynn's friends stopped commenting on her posts, at least the ones I know, and Sergio's cousin messaged me. "Dude, that's cold." "I'm sorry." 2 days after the blow-up, my phone exploded with notifications. I woke up to 38 missed calls, mostly from my parents and Lynn, a couple from Sergio. I checked my texts. My mom had sent 7 in a row, all variations of "call me back," and "we need to talk urgently." Lynn left a voice message, half crying and half yelling, saying I was ruining her trip and embarrassing her online. My dad simply stated, "Enough is enough. You're making this worse." I ignored them all. Instead, I started making real moves. I talked to my cousin Esther again and told her I wasn't letting this go. She said, "Honestly, it's about time someone stood up to them." She offered to help, but I told her I was fine on my own. I didn't want backup. I just wanted them to know I was done being the doormat. I began documenting everything I had paid for in the last 5 years. Every bill, every emergency loan, every time I covered someone's expenses. The list was long. I printed it all out, took pictures, and sent them to the family group chat, adding, "If family shares everything, maybe it's time you all start pulling your weight." There was no response for a while. Then Lynn texted me privately, saying she couldn't believe I was doing this, and that I was making her look bad. I replied, "You did that yourself." She blocked me. The next few hours were filled with calls and texts. Even my Aunt Melissa tried playing peacemaker, but I wasn't budging. I wasn't going to let them sweep this under the rug like every other time. I told Nova we would figure something out, and for once, I actually believed it. Maybe this was what needed to happen. I wasn't looking for forgiveness. I was looking for payback. So yeah, it's just starting. Seeing them scramble now, I know they're finally feeling a bit of what they put me through. I'm just getting started. Next, I'm going to make them feel it where it really hurts. I don't care if it takes a week or a month. I'm not stopping until they truly understand what it feels like to be used and discarded. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. Sometimes you have to scorch the earth before you can build something real. I'm just getting started. Final update. I thought I'd seen the peak of family drama, but it turns out I was only halfway up the hill. It's wild how people will keep doubling down, even after being caught in the act. It's not even about the money for them anymore. It's about not losing. Seriously, if you ever want to know someone's true character, observe what they do when they're cornered and broke. The first hint something was coming was a Venmo request from Sergio for $50. No joke, just a note for food. Like I'd ever send him a dime after what he did. I didn't even reply. A couple of hours later, Lynn DM'd me. Not to apologize, but to ask if I could help her out one last time because Spain was more expensive than they thought, and Mom and Dad couldn't send anything right now. I left her on read, just like she did to me. It felt right. Then the group chat exploded again, but my mom was posting actual paragraphs, finally realizing nobody was on her side. She started sweet, then switched to accusing me of turning the family against her. I ignored it. Esther sent me a screenshot of my mom's rant captioned, "So much for family loyalty." I replied, "They started it." Esther said, "You're not wrong, but this is ugly." She's right, but I'm not the one who made it ugly. So I got to work. I already had receipts for years of bills and transfers, all the times I bailed everyone out. I compiled a document detailing every cent I had paid for family expenses since I was about 20. I sent it to the aunts, uncles, cousins, and a couple of my parents' close friends who always acted like Lynn was a saint. I didn't include drama, just cold, hard numbers. I stated, "If you want to know why I'm done, here's the math." A few replied, "Wow, I had no idea." One actually called my mom, telling her to stop asking for money until she paid me back. Then I took it a step further. I texted my parents and Lynn with a simple deal: pay back the surgery fund and apologize, or I go public with everything. Not like posting on Facebook, but I would inform every single person who ever got dragged into a family help chain, every friend who ever covered for them, every neighbor who ever contributed to a birthday or rent. My mom called it blackmail, and I said, "Call it whatever you want, but I'm done being the backup plan." They tried to guilt me again with all the usual lines. "You're ruining the family. You're making this about money. You don't care about anyone but yourself." I didn't argue. I just kept repeating, "Pay back the money or I'm done." Lynn tried to twist it, saying Nova wouldn't even remember any of this when he was older, that I was making it worse by dragging it out. I told her, "You made your choices. Now live with them." The next couple of days were messy. My parents called every mutual friend they could find, hoping someone would talk sense into me. A few people called to ask what was going on, and I told them the truth. No drama, just facts. Most said, "I hope you guys work it out," but no one pressured me to forgive. Even my uncle, who always said, "Family is everything," texted me, saying he was staying out of it but understood. Meanwhile, Lynn and Sergio returned from Spain and went straight to my parents. I heard from Esther that they were fighting almost every night, blaming each other for how it all went down. Apparently, Sergio was upset because he thought my parents would bail them out again, and Lynn was mad because I wouldn't. My mom kept texting, asking if Nova could come over for Sunday dinner. I said, "Not until they pay him back." She called me cruel, and I replied, "Call it whatever you want." They tried a new angle. Lynn texted me one night, claiming she had a plan to pay me back if I could help her get a side gig. I laughed out loud, replying, "You're on your own now." She called me a jerk and hung up. The next day, my dad called, trying to sound tough, saying if I didn't drop it, I'd never be welcomed in the family again. I told him, "You made that decision for me already." Then came the real blow. I started reaching out to the people they had relied on over the years, those who had lent them money, covered bills, or let them crash at their place. I didn't trash talk. I just shared my story and asked if they had ever been repaid. Most said no. I suggested they stop helping until things were made right. A few of my parents' old friends cut them off, and one even messaged me, thanking me for the heads up. Word spread, and the well dried up. Sergio tried to get help from his side of the family, but they were done too. Apparently, he had done this with others before, always promising repayment next month. Lynn tried to guilt-trip me again, sending a long text about how she was struggling and didn't know how to start over. I didn't reply and blocked her on everything except texts. Then my mom showed up at my door without knocking, barging in and yelling. I told her to leave. She slapped my shoulder, saying I'd regret this forever. I replied, "You've said that before and you're still here." She slammed the door and left. I kept moving forward. I started looking for new ways to fund Nova's surgery, asking around and calling in favors from people who actually cared when it mattered. No family money, just a few friends and some help from a local group. It wasn't easy, but I managed to gather enough to get the ball rolling. Nova now has a surgery date. I didn't invite anyone from my family. My parents are now basically persona non grata with the people they used to rely on. Lynn moved in with a friend of Sergio's out of town, and I haven't heard from her in weeks. My mom still calls occasionally, leaving guilt-tripping voicemails, but I delete them. Dad doesn't call at all. Sometimes I see them at the grocery store, and we don't even acknowledge each other. So this is where it stands, a quiet split. I'm not happier, but I'm not stuck cleaning up after everyone else anymore. Nova is handling it well. He occasionally asks why Grandma doesn't visit, and I just tell him we're doing our own thing now. Maybe that's enough. If you're reading this hoping for the chapter where they all apologize, sorry, that's not real life. There's no forgiveness here, just space. I don't have any grand lesson to share, except that if your family treats you like you're disposable, you owe them nothing. Neither your money, your time, nor even a phone call. Some bridges need to burn. Thanks for following along. I'm not sure what's next, but I know it won't involve them, and that's honestly fine by me.